And voters of Tarrant County, I would like to welcome you to this candidate forum for Saginaw Mayor and City Council Place 4. I am Mary Beth Garcia. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization which works to promote political responsibility through informed and active participation of all citizens in their government. The League of Women Voters does not support or oppose any political party or any candidate. Out of respect for everyone here this evening, we ask that all cell phones be silenced. Video or audio recording of this forum by the audience is not allowed. Professional recordings may be posted. However, the proceedings must be posted in their entirety without editing. Candidates may not use any portion of the recordings for political advertisement. The City of Saginaw is recording this forum, and it will be posted in its entirety on the city website. Questions for the candidates may be written on cards available at the entrance. If you have a card, please step forward to me and I will be happy to collect it. Verbal questions from the audience will not be entertained, and we ask that the audience refrain from applauding until candidates have finished their closing statements. Tonight's event is a forum. It is not a debate, which means that each candidate will be asked questions pertaining to policies and positions, and their answers will be confined to their positions. Candidates may not address questions or remarks to other candidates and must refrain from personal remarks about other candidates. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes for an opening statement, 1 minute to answer each question, and 3 minutes for a closing statement. Our timekeeper this evening is League member Pat Chong. The timekeeper will signal with a yellow card 30 seconds before the allotted time is up, and with a red card when time is up. In fairness, we ask that these limits be respected. The candidates for each place are seated in ballot order. At this time, introduce the candidates. For mayor, we have John Pete and Todd Flippo. For place 4, Brack St. Clair and Jonathan Reams. And now will we begin. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for an opening statement. Mr. Pete, we will start with you.
Okay. My name is John Pete, and I am running for mayor. I arrived in Saginaw in 2002, been here for 22 years. I spent 21 years in the Marine Corps as a master sergeant, which is the top 3% of the enlisted force. Then I worked in the aerospace defense industry for 25 years as an aerospace logistics engineer and got a chance to work on various projects, F-35 and a few other things. I have a Bachelor of Science from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University with a minor in management and a supply chain management certificate. Some of the projects I got a chance to work on was end of obsolescence, so I have a lot of experience from working projects cradle to grave, contracts to all from beginning to end, from the life cycle of it. I think I will be able to bring Marine Corps leadership skills and team building skills that I have, along with change.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Flippo?
Thank you. So my name is Todd Flippo. It's been my honor to be your mayor, and I'm asking for your vote one more time for one more term as mayor. I grew up here. I've been Saginaw my whole life. 4 generations of my family have lived here. Saginaw is part of who I am. I love this town. I love making lives better for folks. That's why I'm running for re-election. Let's talk about a few things we've accomplished in the last few years. I'm very proud of what we've done. When I started, the tax rate was 54 cents. We've lowered it to just over 49 cents now. We passed one of the largest senior citizen property tax exemptions in Tarrant County to give our senior citizens $100,000 to ease the burden on them. We're a very lean city. We do more with less. We're also working to build our tax base. Saginaw is safer now. We've added police, we've added fire. You know, for a few years we were under market paying, so we gave our police and fire a nice raise to get them back to market. We've been able to fill some open positions. We've got officers from other cities, so today we have more police and fire on the streets than ever before in Saginaw. You look across the street, you can see a beautiful new fire station we built with my leadership. It is state of the art. It's award winning. Our old one flooded, which is not a good environment for our fire folks. When you call 911 in Saginaw, you can guarantee that equipped, trained, and well rested first responder will show up to handle whatever needs you have. So feel safe in Saginaw. Like I said, crime is down, Saginaw's safer. We've also addressed traffic. The big complaint I get is traffic. You know, we're not a small town anymore. We built a Bailey Boswell Bridge with county money to ease traffic there. We are rebuilding Knowles now for traffic and drainage with county money as well, so we're saving taxpayer money. We're doing McElroy just after that. We built the food truck park and farmers market under my leadership. Hugely successful farmers market, so successful that other cities are copying us. Right now, other cities are trying to build off the success we've had. You look across the street, we're also building a senior center. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. St. Clair?
My name is Brack St. Clair, and I'm running for Saginaw City Council Place 4. First of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters and the City of Saginaw for hosting this forum. And I would like to thank all the candidates for showing up and answering questions from the voters. As an introduction, I've been a resident of Saginaw since Valentine's Day on 2009, when my wife and I purchased our first house. We moved into the city, and just a few months later, my son was born. And so he's had the opportunity to grow up in Saginaw. One of the things that endeared us about the city is hearing the trains, hearing the whistle from the trains just at random times during the day. It's just something that we enjoy. In the years following, I attended the Citizens Police Academy and joined the Parks Advisory Board in 2012. I've been chair of that board since August of 2019 and have seen through the $4 million worth of bonds that were given to the city for park use in 2021. Professionally, I'm a controller for a commercial subcontractor and have been responsible for managing the finances of that company for the past 7.5 years. As a fiscal conservative, I believe that the city's council budget process is of paramount importance, and the council's focus should not only be on controlling expenses through budgeting, but also looking to maximize the sales tax revenue that is generated within the city. Hope to earn your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reams, your turn.
My name is Jonathan Reams. Some know me as Skin. That's the nickname that I got during my 20 years in public works. I served this community for over 20 years in public works. Worked my way up from digging ditches all the way up to the senior leadership of my department, water department. My family moved to Saginaw in 1998. I've called Saginaw home since then. I'm a proud pioneer, graduate of Boswell, back when we only had one school, and this community was a lot tighter. I remember when this community was a lot better off than it is now. We weren't trying to be something that we're not. We were a lot tighter. And unfortunately, the bad news is we can't turn back the clock. We can't do away with the growth that we've already gotten to. But the good news is we can hold people accountable for that growth. We can put a stop to it today as soon as council can get to voting. We've already seen what the citizens of Highland Station were able to do when a recent proposal was looked at rezoning some land. They said, we don't want it, and it didn't happen. Council listened to the voters, and I believe we can do a lot with that. I'm not a politician. I'm not PC. Never will be. Two biggest goals that I have are, again, holding senior leadership of this city responsible. I believe there's a price to pay for what we've already gone through. And a big thing that I'd like to change that could be immediate would be looking at our city codes, such things as trash cans and blocking of sidewalks by cars. Some of that stuff is just nonsense and is a waste of our fine code enforcement officers' time. And that's something we can attack day one. So I ask for your vote.
Okay, thank you. We're now going to get into the question portion of the evening. Each of the candidates is going to take a turn rotating to answer the question first. So, Mr. Pete, we are going to start with you. And the first question is, what are 3 specific qualifications that make you the best candidate for the position you are running for?
The best 3 qualifications that make me a candidate
Yeah.
for mayor. I've held various leadership positions in the Marine Corps in real world situations in different parts of the world and different continents. And you can't do anything without your Marines and your teamwork that goes along with it. And it's a matter of life and death. In the aerospace industry, you got a chance to work on critical aircraft components and from design to the end, 30 seconds. Cradle to grave, from contract to beginning to the end. Accountability.
Okay, Mayor Flippo,
Thank you.
same question.
Sure. I am the educated, experienced leader that this city needs, also with a vision. I appreciate Saginaw's past, but I also have a vision for the future, where we need to go, where we want to be. We're 25,000 people now. We need to govern that way and act that way. We can hold on to our cherished past, but also for the future, look to the future, and that's what I do. And I think my vision, I think my experience, and I just love Saginaw. I've been here my whole life. I'm proud to be from Saginaw, and I want everything I can do to make it a better place. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. St. Clair?
So the 3 qualifications I would say is honesty, integrity, and responsibility. Um, I, in my day job of having to run the finances for a $100 million plus company, I am often faced with difficult decisions and having to make those decisions count. And our company's profits depend on those decisions that I make. And sometimes those decisions are wrong. And when they are, it's important to be able to own up to those and to explain why they were wrong and to dig into the details of it. And I think that's what Saginaw needs, is somebody who can not only make decisions, but also go back and review the decisions that have been made and make sure that course corrections can be done.
Okay. Mr. Reams?
Well, Brack took some really good ones there. So I guess that's. So I won't use his at all. I'll speak to experience, my experience with the city, 20 years behind the scenes, behind the veil, from what most citizens get to see, what I believe certain council members are able to see. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've heard a lot. So I have that experience. Bring that to the table. I'm a good communicator, and I have leadership skills that I think I don't mind taking up tasks and being the lead on things, and just doing what needs to be done.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Flippo, you're going to answer this question first. What are the main issues facing Saginaw?
A couple of things pop to mind. One is traffic, big issue I get. That's why we're working on some streets. Another is growth. How do you manage growth? People want to live here. We're in a fortunate situation. We've got a great city, we've got great schools, so that draws people. How do we manage the influx of new people with the existing residents? How do we provide new services? How do we provide new events? I have a vision of Saginaw where you can live, work, eat, and play. We haven't had that before. That's where I believe we're going. And I think we can handle the traffic with some of the road projects we're working on now, and with others in working with the county to help that. The county does a lot for us, so our relationship with them is fantastic. So I think working on traffic and working on growth would be the 2 major issues in the near future. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. St. Clair?
I believe that commercial growth is an important aspect of what we should be focusing on. Um, Making sure that we are maximizing the land that is still available in the appropriate ways so that uh, we're able to encourage local business owners to build their businesses in town, bring the sales tax revenue in town, but also keep the salaries of the executive management, the business owners, keep that in town as well. And that will increase some of the traffic, but the traffic's already here from the thousands of homes that are being built just right outside of our city. So I think the commercial aspect is probably the most important one to look at.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reams?
Two biggest things that kind of go along with growth: infrastructure. That's your roads, which we can't do anything about roads. We can't do anything with people that live outside of our communities. But infrastructure, uh, because of my experience, I understand water and sewer. So that's the water that has to go through. We have a finite amount of water and it has to serve the community. If the community is going to grow, you have to make necessary changes. You have to grow that infrastructure, and it costs money. So people don't want taxes to go up. I understand that you have to find the money somewhere, uh, and that's part of the experience I have. I know places to look that maybe most people don't. Most residents don't have a clue. There's money being hidden. So I think infrastructure is the biggest thing, and land use, of course, is the big one. And if you want us to keep our green spaces, you have to act because it appears that other people in this community want us to grow and want more people to move here. I don't. I want to maintain our green space.
Okay. Mr. Pete, your turn.
Manage spending with bringing it in line with current revenue streams. No new tax rate is an achievable goal and one that should be an objective.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, next question. Mr. St. Clair, you're going to answer first. What are some recent successes you've seen in Saginaw, and how would you build on them in the future?
So probably one of the major successes that I've seen just recently is the building improvement grant program that the city has. The ability for business owners that are local to invest in improving their property not only increases the value of their property, but it also encourages more traffic to come to their property. And I would say that it's important to encourage that growth and to encourage that program to expand because I think it's been very successful.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reams?
Well, I'm glad I get to steal a little bit of Brack's thunder. One thing that my opponent has done great is leading the Parks Board. And I would point directly at the improvements we've made at several different park locations around town on both sides of our community. We've recently opened up two very nice, I don't know what the official term for, so that everyone can play, but they're accessible for everyone, all ages, all mental capacities. I think that's a great thing for our community. It speaks to what our community wants.
Okay. Mr. Pete? Sure. What are some recent successes you've seen in Saginaw, and how would you build on them in the future?
Well, the biggest success we had is the brand spanking new fire department, and very proud of that fact, and very glad I voted for that bond on that one, and some of the other improvements that we're making. But we can go a lot more further with the bonds that we do issue and the ones that we may be issuing in the future. And that gets in line with managing our spending with our current revenue streams.
Okay. Mayor Flippo?
Thank you. You know, I mentioned the food truck park and the farmers market earlier. Those are huge successes. When other people want to copy you, you know you've done something right. And we opened that during COVID, and we were a little worried how successful that would be. And it's been beyond our wildest dreams. It's helped people go from entrepreneurs to even brick and mortar. A couple of things: we're building a new senior center and a new library. Well needed. The seniors deserve better. Less than a year from now, they will be in a fantastic new 10,000 square foot dedicated senior space, which will be amazing. And the library as well. I think y'all know how I feel about libraries, and it's imperative we have a better library. A large library, it's so used. We have so many fantastic programs at our library, and that's one of our biggest successes. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Reams, you were going to answer this question first. How do you see the relationship between the city council and the city manager?
Well, that's a very simple question and answer. The current city council, I believe, without having any insight into it whatsoever, just attending the council meetings as a employee of City of Saginaw and watching stuff online since I've retired, I believe that for the most part, the majority of council wants to replace the city manager. I believe they think that the job he has done is very poor. He's been very wasteful, and I agree. Both as when I was an employee and now that I've retired, I've been a little more vocal because I can be. He can't fire me anymore. So I believe that for the most part, the council wants to get rid of him, and I would love to join that cause.
Okay. Mr. Pete, your turn.
I've seen where the city manager has taken off on a trip and came back and begged for forgiveness, and that's like a little bit of insubordination. He hasn't performance review. I would, as mayor, I would have quarterly, monthly performance reviews and hold them accountable for each line item on the budget and performance. Just like you would have any other employee, you have a performance review.
Okay. Mayor Flippo, your turn.
I think we have a good relationship with our city manager. He is young, he is new. I think the most things people don't like about him is he's not from around here. He didn't grow up here, but that's okay. We work very closely with him. The city manager does what the city council wants him to do. City manager doesn't do anything unless city council votes on it with 4 votes. So really, if you're criticizing the city manager, you're criticizing the council. The council owns that. The manager and all the staff works for the council and works for the citizens. We are constantly working to improve the city. I'm impressed that we've got a lot of new ideas from our city manager. He's come in as a new guy with new ideas, great ideas. We've won awards, statewide awards based on ideas that came from him and other staff members. So our staff is fantastic. We're one of the best employee groups you could ever find. And I will fight people that say different because we've got some great employees here.
Mr. St. Clair, your turn.
I guess I kind of misunderstood the question. I didn't. Would you mind repeating it?
Sure,
real quick?
absolutely. It's how do you see the relationship between the city council and the city manager?
Okay. I guess I just sorry, that threw me completely off because I was thinking more about like the technical aspect of what does a city manager, how do they relate to a city council, and so I would say that the city council just serves as the executive board, and the city manager does the transacting of business, whatever the city council tells him to do. I do think that performance reviews are needed. Everybody needs a performance review to know the good and the bad of what they're doing, and those should be regular and expected, so that there's no surprises, there's no gotchas. It's just a performance review, and if people are doing the job that they need to be doing, then that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Pete, we're going to be back to you to answer first. What will you do to show or continue to show young families that this is where they should put down roots and raise their family?
Young families have it hard in this current economy. For them to buy a single family home is probably out of the reach of the current dual working parent families. You'd have to encourage more single family homes and make it livable to stay here. But having a single family home in this economy is going to take a lot more than just being the mayor.
Okay. Mayor Flippo?
I would show them what we're working toward. We're bringing in some new restaurant options, some new entertainment. One thing that people have said, we don't have places for teens to go. We don't have entertainment venues for teens. We absolutely need to attract those. We've been talking to some of those groups. Um, we have great schools here. We're improving our park system, as was mentioned. That will certainly help. I think that's very attractive to young families to have a great park system. Our library is fantastic for youth, for kids. The new library will be even better. So we've got a lot of cool stuff here and a lot of cool stuff coming. I think it's a very attractive place for young families, and we are a very young community. The median age in Saginaw is 33 or 34, so a very young community, a growing, diverse community of 25,000 people. So we have a lot to offer, and we'll get even more to offer in the future for all families.
Okay, thank you. Mr. St. Clair?
And I think one of the major things that we have going for us is a lower property tax rate than a lot of the communities that are surrounding us. So that right there makes the same value home just a little bit more affordable. And so I think it's important that we seek out ways of keeping that to be the case. If we can stay ahead of some of these other cities where we can have a lower investment cost and allow people to move in, that'll encourage them. Continuing to invest in our infrastructure and our parks and encouraging small businesses to move in. I think all of that also encourages more of a uh, uh, we're going to stay here longer attitude.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reeves?
Could you repeat the question one more time?
Sure. What will you do to show or continue to show young families that this is where they should put down roots and raise their family?
Okay, well, like everyone else kind of said, I would highlight our park system. I would highlight our awesome school district that we have. That is part of our community. The city doesn't have a lot to say about that, though. I wouldn't want to talk about. Again, my goal would be to stop the infrastructure, stop the growth of what some people want to do. We have Lake Worth right there. We have Alliance up there. We have downtown that way. You have the mid cities, Keller, Haltom City, Watauga. We have plenty of things for communities to do, especially young kids around us. I don't think we need more of that in Saginaw. I think we need to maintain all the green space we can. Maybe if all of it was parks, that would be great. So improve our parks any more than they already are.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, next question. Mayor Flippo, you're going to go first. What do you see as the three most important things the city council needs to do?
Three most important things the city council needs to do. One is economic development. Attract more restaurants, more businesses to town, more industry to grow our tax base, and also give our citizens more things, entertainment options, food options. And that's part of managing growth, which is huge. Managing traffic and congestion is absolutely got a big thing. And then building better roads, facilities for the citizens. We're doing a lot of that right now, but we need to do even more. There's still roads we need to repair. We've done a lot with sidewalks. We need to do even more of that. We spent a couple $1 million on sidewalks in the last few years. Sidewalks and roads definitely need our attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. St. Clair?
One of the things I would do, or I think that the city is important for the city council is budgeting, and not just year by year, but to start really doing some more of the long range planning. The decisions that are made right now are affecting us 20 and 30 years ago. And if we had city councils in the past that were a little bit more focused on the future plans, I think we would be in a drastically different situation than we are right now. So we need to go ahead and bite the bullet and do some of the hard talking and not be so concerned about what's going to happen over the next 3 or 4 years, but make sure that that's in line with the things that need to happen over the next 30 or 40 years.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reams?
Two main things. Listen to the residents. I believe that unfortunately in this world we live in, not everybody goes to council meetings, not everybody emails the mayor or council. Um, Social media is part of our life, and I monitor social media, have monitored social media for many years, and that's where people tend to complain about things. That's where they tend to be vocal and express their wants and needs. And so I think right now that's kind of something that we're missing, and we need to key in on that. And the second part of what council needs to do pretty quick, I think, is dig into the current city manager's tenure as he's been here. He's been here a while, and a lot of things have happened under his watch that I think have kind of gone under the radar. They need to be looked at. They need to be examined heavily. Every penny he's spent, every decision he's made needs to be scrutinized.
Okay. Mr. Pete?
Yes, ma'am. Taxation with a no new revenue rate, transparency with fiscal responsibility and transparency, along with starting and implementing town hall meetings formats where the citizens actually engage the council members and the city management team, and we get their feedback direct, one on one. I attended the Citizen Summit in 2018, and I suggested it, and it has never been implemented. I would encourage and want citizen feedback for our city.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question, Mr. St. Clair, you're going to answer this one first. What is your opinion on the salaries of city employees?
I think that they are getting more competitive. I think they've just gotten a pretty good raise this past year, and I think that we need to make sure that, especially at the bottom end, we're not losing people to other cities um, because of wages, and it trickles up. But we can't have too much of a separation, but there does need to be an appropriate separation. So I think that there's going to be more that needs to be done as far as salaries go. Um, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reams?
Well, I have some insight into this a little bit, and a good thing to say, a good way to classify it would be top heavy. At the admin level, I think we're paying really, really good, probably overpaying, to be honest with you. A lot of those people have forgotten what it's like to work for a living. A lot of those people have forgotten how they got in those positions. I never did. When I started to think that way, that's when it was time to retire. So we need to look at that because, as Brack said, we have a lot of talent and we're not taking care of that talent. I promise you, we're not taking care of that talent, and we don't want to lose that talent. We need to be working to educate and get them on a building towards something better.
Okay. Mr. Pete?
Yes, ma'am. Our city employees are 61% underpaid with industry standards. And the last time that there was an industry wide salary comparison was 2017. And the other one that was initiated last year and presented at the beginning of this year. So that just shows that the leadership was not taking care of the people that run this city. So, and then he had to ask a question during that presentation, how often should it be done?
Okay. Mayor Flippo?
Thank you. So yeah, we just did a salary study just very recently to try to be up to date. We know that our folks are still a little bit underpaid. Almost every year of my tenure, we have given the city employees a raise, some larger than others. We will probably need to do that again this year because they're still a little bit underpaid. Um, through all levels, there's underpaid, and we can compare that to market. It's a very obvious math thing you can compare to see they're a little underpaid. Our first folks work very hard. They deserve to be paid and compensated appropriately. I mean, we've been down. Last year we were down 5 or 6 public works folks. because of salaries. We lost folks to other cities, so we raised that rate, raised the salary to get the better compensation for our people. They deserve it. We have great folks. All the stuff we talk about for the citizens that we want to do could not happen without our employees. Period. So we have to pay them well. We have to pay them a market rate, or we'll lose folks. It's a very competitive environment, especially for police and fire. So we are. It's our duty to pay them well.
Okay, thank you. Next question, Mr. Reams, you will answer first. How will you engage with your constituents?
Well, again, I believe social media is part of our world now, and it's a huge part of our world. It's how most people communicate. The younger you get, the more that's the avenue they choose. So I have a presence on social media now. I maintain that for this reason alone, for this campaign run, try to reach out to people. That's how I would try to reach out and stay engaged with the residents, visiting any events we have, trying to get out there, shake the hands, kiss the babies, really get a pulse on where the city's at, and take that straight to council.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pete?
I did not actually hear the entire question.
Sure. How will you engage with your constituents?
Like I said, I would want to initiate town hall meetings. It would be able to get more people involved, advertise it for critical and basic decisions that need to be made. I would want citizen feedback immediately with a one-on-one participation.
Okay. Mayor Filippo?
Thank you. There's a couple of ways. We have city council meetings twice a month, every first and third Tuesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. at City Hall. That is really a town hall. People are invited. Anyone can come talk about a lot of different issues. That's how you learn about the city and ask questions. We've also started a program, and it was our city manager's idea, called Garage Gabs. We've done 25 of those, maybe almost 30, which are small gatherings of citizens around town, at their homes in their neighborhoods, at the fire station, just to talk about issues. Open, ask questions to not just me, not just the mayor, not the council, but the city employees as well. We have the police there, fire there, just any kind of question. So that's great communication. That's the intimate small town feel you get from Saginaw. And we've actually won awards for that garage gap, so I'm very proud of that.
Okay. Mr. St. Clair?
So I found over the past month or so that just simply talking to people as they're outside has done wonders for clearing up misconceptions and misrepresentations. I have really enjoyed that, getting back to that. I used to do that as a kid all the time. It was just normal. And ever since I've been an adult, that has seemed a little less acceptable, or I don't really know what the word is, but getting back to that, to where engaging in one-on-one conversations and just having a conversation and calming somebody down and discussing with them what their real issue is, and then bringing solutions to bear on that.
Thank you. Okay, in the interest of time, we're going to start with our closing statements, and we're going to go in reverse order. So, Mr. Reams, you'll be given 3 minutes for a closing statement.
Okay. Well, I just want to talk with everyone that might view this. Obviously, there's not many people here. This kind of representation of our city, the way that our government kind of tends to go. Not many people show up when it's time to vote. I wouldn't be surprised, even with the heavyweight mayoral race we have, if 400 people vote. So I hope YouTube does its job, again, social media. I'm looking to massively change a lot, as much as I can. And it starts at the top. Yeah, city manager does control a lot. As the mayor said, typically he listens to the way that the council pushes to go, but not every decision runs through council. I'm telling you that, 100%. He's done things that council doesn't even know about. And if they knew, I think there'd be an issue. So I'm looking to massively overhaul this place. I'm looking to overhaul and change things. If you're unhappy, get your butt out there and vote. Please, I need your vote. You'll notice you don't see any signs that say Jonathan Reams around town. I don't have the money for that. I'm a retired public servant. I'm depending on God's grace. However this is supposed to work, it's going to work. So if you want change, I'm your man.
Thank you. Mr. St. Clair?
Driving force behind my decision to run for city council is that I believe that the city of Saginaw needs leadership that is focused on the future while respecting the past. We have very little open land left, and the council should focus its efforts to ensure that each parcel is zoned appropriately. Where a parcel is zoned in a way that is not congruent with our comprehensive plan, we should initiate a rezoning of that parcel. I believe that we have plenty of residential zoning within the city currently, and we need to appropriately incentivize local businesses. As the local businesses thrive, this is going to increase the sales tax revenue that is brought in by the city, and it lessens the burden that property taxpayers have to bear. Again, I want to thank everyone for making time tonight to come out and listen to each of us express our viewpoints and answer your questions. Again, I'm Brack St. Clair, and I'd love to earn your vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Flippo?
Hey, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this. This is great. This is what democracy is all about. I appreciate the folks that came, and I hope some people see us online. Again, my name is Todd Flippo. I'm proud to be your mayor. It's been the honor of my life to be the mayor of Saginaw. I grew up in this town. I love this city. I have a vision for the future, but I appreciate the past as well. Under my leadership, we've done some good things, but there's more to be done. I would love to get some more entertainment. I would love to have more dining options for folks, and those are coming. We're working on those. The new Twisted Root Complex is coming hopefully later this year. We've done some really good things, and we've been recognized for that. In the last 2 years, we've won 3 statewide Texas Municipal League awards for city excellence. 3, and we'd never won any in the history of the city before that. We've been nominated the last 2 years for an All-American City. We're a finalist for All-American City again this year by the National Civic League. So things are starting to turn. Things are showing what we've done. I'm very proud of a lot of work we've done. Is there work to be done? Absolutely. There's more to be done. It's a growing, vibrant community. We need to treat it as such and appreciate that. I'm really excited about the future of Saginaw. I think it's great things are coming. This is a wonderful place for us. We're going to make it great for our kids and our grandkids as well. Again, my name is Todd Flippo, and I would really appreciate your vote on May the 4th.
Thank you. Mr. Pete?
Well, I want to thank the chance and opportunity to share a little bit about myself and what I would want to try to do as mayor. When you identify a problem, you be part of the solution. And that's why I decided to run as mayor. There's been leadership problems off and on since quite a while. And I started regularly attending back in 22 on a few various issues with some of the zoning issues and from Highland Station and a few of the others. But when I saw that the employee standard was not completed, that was a failure of leadership from the top down. And then to come to find out that the employee morale, just because of that effect, it's a microcosm of what's going on. So I will earn your confidence and value your vote and vote for John Pete. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please remember that early voting begins on Monday, April 22nd. You can check the county website at tarrantcounty.com/elections for early voting sites. Remember that Tarrant County has voting centers, which means that you may vote at any polling location. Election Day is Saturday, May 4th. Also, please visit our website at vote411.org. It contains information about the candidates that are on the ballot for each of your elections. Thank you to all who came out this evening to hear your candidates, and thank you to the candidates for your participation this evening. The candidates will be available to speak with you personally if you wish after we adjourn. Thank you and good evening.